Go ahead.
What's up? What's up? It's the Simtards. We swapped seats just to fuck with your head.
The Simtards have swapped.
So I don't know. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do here.
Yeah. So listen, I was gonna tell you real quick though. You know, I get like when I put on my makeup in the morning, I have what are those called? The makeup mirrors where they flip and it's a magnifying mirror on one side.
Yeah.
Dude, thank God we were home the other day. I had been down there cross-legged putting on the little makeup and stuff, and then Ryan and I were just roaming around the house, and all of a sudden I smelt something burning.
Oh no.
It was the sunshine hitting the mirror,
reflecting off on it.
Yes, it got that hot that we have that real cedar wood, you know. That shit was burning a hole and like smoking.
Oh wow, really?
If we had not been home.
Oh wow, dude.
So now I was saying that because before I was coming over, I was getting ready. I had to turn around. I got like halfway here and went, oh shit.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. That's wild. The
Isn't
reflection.
That wild?
The sun
I was
is
like, what kind of wood is? I mean, I don't know. Not kind of wood, but yeah, the sun's so damn powerful.
The sun is powerful.
Yeah, they probably are modifying it to be that powerful. I bet because they know that I'm not into the government, so they were going to burn my house down with the sun.
It was a direct energy weapon. You had your own direct energy weapon.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was kind of a weird little scary thing because you know, you don't think about that. You're like, I didn't leave any candles on, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't think about the magnifying mirror that you pluck your brows with.
Not since I was 7 years old.
Did you ever kill ants like that?
I didn't. I'm not an animal.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Killer.
I've had this conversation about killing things with Ryan, and I always say that you weren't really into the killing the animals.
If I only killed bugs, it was to get them off of my floor.
Right. Or out of your house or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like, I try not to run, and like, I'm not going to attempt to run things over. I'll stop and let a squirrel go by. You know, like.
It's like that one time
it's not going to be like Russian roulette.
It's like that one time when I hit that squirrel and I looked out of my rear view mirror and I swear he just goes like this. And then falls out. And I was like, oh my God. It was like a Pixar movie.
I know.
It's like, I'll never forget that.
I know.
All hands and legs just completely upright vertically and then collapsed.
Just immediate rigor mortis.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my God. Like very dramatic.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
Oh, that's
I'll never forget that.
I
I was like, what? This is like a movie.
Do you like my shirt? This is from Alice Bowie.
Oh.
It's vintage. Shout out to Alice Bowie.
Sweet.
Hearst, Texas.
Sweet.
Anyway, how are you?
Well, yeah, so
you had an experience.
I had an experience last night because, you know, first of all, I've quit drinking. I haven't drank in a year and a half now.
Like a year and 6 months, actually.
Yeah. Wow. And so, I didn't mean to just stop necessarily smoking the reefer.
Yeah.
It just slowly, I stopped doing it.
Isn't it like because you want to be sober? Like when you're sober and you want to get sober, maybe everything.
I just don't.
Get sober? I don't know.
I slowly stopped, and I used to just like smoke, but I decided that I was going to get a edible for the first time.
And
I definitely never taken edibles.
Oh really?
I mean, I have, but I was never really into them.
Oh, I didn't know.
So
that.
I tried that.
Taken a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so
and
I wasn't sure.
Dude, I had different levels. Like, I started off super creative and inspired, which, you know, like being an artist, that's the main reason why I always even smoked in the first place.
Well, yeah,
because it made me super creative and
it gets you outside of your box.
Super inspiring. Yeah, I started thinking about cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I was at that point, but then by the end of the night, I was like insecure, thinking like, do I look stupid or?
Second guessing. Everything.
Start second guessing everything, dude. And I swear I was seeing visuals. I was like, oh my God, dude.
So how did it end though? Did you figure that you would be okay and that?
It got to a point where I turned everything off, and then turned out all the lights, and I fell asleep listening to Lord Huron.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the best bands.
It's like
ever.
your comforting.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna put on some Lord Huron and just
chill.
Yeah, and so I eventually fell asleep.
So the one time I've tried those, especially at night, they keep me up. So I can't. If I'm going to take anything, I'd like to take it in the mornings or, Yeah. Breakfast bowl.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, and that's we grew up around it. So,
yes, we did.
Our dad had a word for it that he used to call it woo-woo to hide it from the kids.
Yeah.
So we grew up around it.
All of our life.
Pretty normal.
Totally normal, and they were normal people. They held normal jobs. They were normal, responsible human beings.
It's one of those things where you kind of grow
But
up
it was
around
just one of those things that they had always smoked, and they kind of, like, I know Mom used it for a lot of medicinal reasons.
Fibromyalgia.
Yeah, well, I know she told me one time that she smoked long enough in life that now she can actually use it for medicinal purposes. But it did help her. It helped her pain levels and all that stuff, because she had what do you call that? Rheumatoid arthritis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, I remember because she used to, she's the hippie days, so she would smoke that swag, the old swag shit. And was one time me and my buddy
with the seeds.
One time, me and my buddy snuck her some hydroponic shit.
Oh,
dude, and she didn't know.
Heart.
No, she handled it like a champ.
It.
Yeah,
oh, she is a champ.
She started getting that out.
She could party.
She just like sat back and she goes, "That's some good pot."
So
we were adults by then. I wasn't like a kid.
No, I always have to explain that about her to people. As Mom, even though she was cool, she was not cool to the point where she would let you mess up as a teenager.
Right.
We had to wait to cuss. Yeah. I remember, dude, she wouldn't let me say stupid.
I called her a butthead, and she pushed me on the bed. And I was like, "Dang, just for saying butthead?" Really? Yes. But I think that was when she was taking her Prozac that made her crazy.
Oh, which was not
that Prozac. Yeah, that Prozac did not help. I finally said, you gotta ditch this stuff.
You know what they say now? The more that I've studied, because I've been off of all of my SSRs, which are antidepressants, for about 8 months or so now. I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, I can tell that I don't know what the medicine did besides stabilize. Like, after so much trauma, sometimes your brain waves get messed up and stuff, and you almost have to stabilize.
Maybe accidentally have a seizure or two.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So sometimes that medication can help, but I had been on it for maybe a steady 5 or 6 years, and I thought, we've grieved with Mom. I've faced a lot of my traumas. Maybe it's time to try. Plus, I don't want to have to be on something that I'm dependent on. Yeah. Especially that from the government or from the pharmaceutical government, the pharmaceutical companies, and having to get stuff shipped in.
Yeah.
And also, the more I studied about it, the SSRs will make you change, and they put little girls, especially on them, teenagers, so they never get to develop who they really are as a human being.
Yeah,
because
they're just throwing them pills, man.
Yeah, and it numbs you down. It changes. Yeah. It changes a lot about somebody's personality.
When you could just do healthy things like drink Red Bull.
Right. Exactly. And take and a little edibles. No.
Yeah. Right.
But,
right.
I mean, I don't know. As much stuff as you can be off of, I think the better.
Yeah.
Even if you can control high blood pressure.
All those pills and stuff, man, that they want to give to everybody, man.
Oh, just a patient.
And that's when I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he had Casey and Callie memes on, and they were talking about how there's so much estrogen.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. And so women are having puberty way earlier, like 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
I mean 9 years old,
Yes. 9 years old, 10 years old, but also even by the time girls are 12 and 13 now, they're just developed.
Yeah, dude, weird. It's creepy.
We were talking about that earlier, how when I was growing up, there was maybe, and I can remember them by name and I won't, but there were just a handful of people that were developed like that. Most of us were, pretty small statured girls, and nobody had weight problems.
We had one person in 5th grade that developed, and we were stunned.
All the boys.
Yeah, it was crazy. It took at least another year for all the rest of them to catch up with her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I
was 10 years late, buddy.
I didn't really hit puberty till I was 25.
I know. Yeah, that's what I feel like too.
Maybe it's the estrogen.
Maybe, but it's true. But they've linked it to that, and also the plastics and everything that we eat and we drink.
Yeah,
I mean, it's insane.
Estrogen everywhere, and then you start wondering, is that on purpose?
And also the men, it changes the men now too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these little very soft, it changes everything. Like I'm watching. But
well,
I wonder if it does
well,
change
same with I mean, they were saying like, men are taking more estrogen and losing their testosterone and
their levels.
Yeah, their levels, and like you're getting these little skinny, scary kids that want to shoot up schools.
And then also they don't have activities in their life,
right.
and they're in their head and they're so neurotic.
Yeah, and on the phone all the time.
Yeah, and then everything's like right here in front of you, and it's amazing like how the generations have changed.
Right.
The young people.
Right.
Because even like the kids I work with, they have a job, they work with me, they have to help in customer service, but their entire existence is so different than what we're used to. I mean, they literally, it's like a lot of effort to turn around and go get something.
Oh.
I'm like, no. Get up.
Oh.
Get up and do it.
Fine.
Exactly. Or
Let
they'll
me
be
put
like,
my phone down, man.
hey, can you hand me, Russ, pass me that pen. But it'll be that close where you could just go like that. Look, stretch.
There's the pin.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a good episode, but that was the main thing I remember hearing about was like the estrogen that's all over the place.
Yes.
That we can't get away from.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, you got these little skinny cis boys. And
I was thinking about that too, and how many people die of cancer and how many people have it, even at our age, And
I got really paranoid about cancer the other day.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the thing is you think about it and it's like, it sounds so like morbid and kind of, I don't know, but I'm kind of a morbid person, I really am. But a lot of people die of cancer now. So it's like nobody gets to live out to their old age.
But that's why I started freaking out, because I started thinking about our uncle Paul.
I know.
And how he slowly deteriorated. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go out like that.
I know. That's so weird. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
And I had this hilarious conversation, a small one, with this lady that walked in. Adorable. She was probably 65, little cute, bubbly thing. And she said something to the effect that both her parents are like 90 and 95. And I go, oh, well, then you've got a long life ahead of you. And she goes, girl, I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah.
I do not want to live until I'm 95. And I started cracking up. She's like, do you know how much assistance they need?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, no.
I don't know.
But natural. I mean, I'm saying people don't get to just age naturally and die of like a heart attack or something. It's if I could just go like our grandmother. In her sleep. Yeah, that'd be nice. But she was too young too.
No, I know.
It's interesting because we've lost so many people, and our grandparents on either side, besides Gran, lived long lives. I think they missed the chemicals and all that. They were like, my mom was born in like 1910 or something.
He was 83 or 85 when he passed. That's a great long life. And he was very healthy.
He had all his faculties, remember? Yeah. He just had liver. All of a sudden his organs failed, which is gonna, that's normal.
I mean, his main thing, with his faculties is that he could not remember any of my friends' names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he would say a different name.
For everyone.
Yeah, like, is Jonathan coming over? I'm like, dude, his name was Travis.
Fair. You had a lot of friends.
Yeah, I did.
So,
But no, he was sharp as a tack.
Yeah, he really was.
Go. It was his liver.
Yep, it was his liver.
Yeah.
And that, the wear and tear in your body.
I'll never forget when he was laying in bed and he goes, I'll be a Democrat till the day I die. I'm a Democrat. Yeah, I swear.
When he was like losing it a little bit?
When he was at the end of his deathbed, he was like, I've always been a Democrat.
Oh.
And I'll always be a Democrat.
Well, that's interesting considering what we're into.
Yeah, I wonder if he would say that today.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
There's no way, because these people that we luckily were raised by were really common sense smart people.
Right.
I feel like.
Well, and it's like I keep saying, it's not really about Democrats and Republicans.
Right.
You got the establishment that are working together.
Yes.
And then you've got, the people that are kind of combating it.
Right? Yeah. Isn't it so obvious?
It's super obvious.
And it's so interesting. I was saying to you the other day, I was watching these Democrat constituents, whatever they want to call them, that were on the tour for Kamala. And the interviewer was saying that the economy is not a good economy.
Yeah, it's doing
great. And they were saying it's doing great. This is the best
economy. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Yeah, I know. But
it's wild.
But something's wrong with that. Like, because people are actually watching that, and are they agreeing? Here's what I think, and Tim Dillon said this too. It's obviously a huge separation between upper rich
Oh yeah, the socioeconomic issue.
So yes,
the socioeconomic
but the
issue.
mental differences and just realities are so significant. Whatever that word is. Yeah.
Significant.
That one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really is a socioeconomic situation.
I guess that.
There's people who have become rich and famous, and they feel like they're on and then they kind of are on a whole another justice system. You know?
Well, I don't know if
it's a two-tier justice system. Look at P. Diddy.
But they say
Look at Epstein.
Right.
And all those people that they are involved with, not one of them has been exposed to this day.
Well, that for sure.
So that's a two-tier justice system.
That part is, of course. But I'm talking about just normal you and I's, but make a lot more money sitting in New York.
Yeah.
Like the differences between the you and I's and that version of us that would make like $200,000 more, or God, I don't know. I guess people in New York make like $300,000.
Yeah, we're up in the millions nowadays.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. 200,000 seems like a lot of money to me.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't know. It's just, anyways. And then the vision or the perspective that some people have of him as just a straight racist, ignorant, like belligerent. You know what I mean? And how that can be so different from just normal people going, okay, yeah, he says really tacky things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but well, this is the thing I was thinking about is like, the whole Democrat-Republican, ideology is so embedded with people that it's, even if you know that it's not really between Democrats and Republicans, you forget. You forget, and you still kind of separate them.
Right.
You know?
Do you think that there's a lot more, like you said, fake, embedded, like people, extremists on either side, or like in the Democrat Party that keep it on edge like that? I mean, listen, how come people aren't able to see things like for what they are?
What they are, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just like I was saying with the last week with the mainstream news, is that they have these topics that they stay separated on.
Right.
And then they have these topics that they'll agree on together. And that's what is the real agenda. So, and then guess what the biggest one that they agree on?
What?
Foreign wars.
Yeah.
With every foreign war,
Israel's,
Fox
they still
and
want
CNN
Israel
agree. Fox and CNN both agree on foreign wars because they're getting all their paychecks because of foreign wars.
Right.
So it's just crazy. And that's, and then all the money they want to send over there, and I don't understand it. What is wrong with saying America first? I don't know. What is wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing. I mean, that's the thing is, I guess there's a point of view that, like we talk about sometimes the open borders and the world policy and world economics and how we have to have. Right, but we also in reality have to have some sort of communication if we're going to trade goods and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting because...
But we don't need to give them all of our money.
No, we don't. And also, a lot of these countries, like Israel in particular, they're one of the wealthiest nation. You know what I mean?
I don't understand it.
And I know Ukraine wasn't necessarily wealthy, but it's like even in the midst of just recently, they sent another like 417 billion?
Really?
Something like that over, and I'm like, how do we...
Was it million? Billion?
And maybe it was million. You know how good I am with numbers.
With your millions and billions?
It all sounds the same to me.
I do the same, because I think I did it last week. I said like billion and I meant million.
Yeah, so maybe millions, but it was a lot.
It's all the same to us.
So I'm just wondering, like, also, where are they getting that particular pull from? Like, are they, like, is there a reserve of all of our American taxes somewhere where they can just pull it out?
They're so quick to shoot it over there, but like when we have a hurricane here, it's like pulling teeth, dude.
And also, you would think that they would be able to, if they really used our taxes to benefit us, school lunches could be free.
Yeah.
Like, there could be a lot more social, the things that people want to really be socialist about.
Wars.
Yes, instead of
and sending the money to people who just got over here and not legally.
Yeah. That's really tough.
It's wild.
Yeah. That's really that whole immigration.
It's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's like hey, we don't give two shits about you guys. Here's a slap in the face.
And it's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because oh no. Okay. It's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Especially if you're sitting around trying to do your best as a human being and afford your life.
Oh, dude, it's offensive.
It is offensive. You're right. People should be pissed off, actually.
Yeah, they should be damn. They should be damn mad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I will say this. I got to watching Trump at McDonald's yesterday.
Yeah.
And the trolling that he does
he's hilarious.
is unstoppable.
That
might be the greatest troll I've ever seen. I remember watching it going, oh my God.
He's amazing.
This is the most amazing troll.
I know.
And he's so good at it. And I mean, so I've nicknamed him King Tut. You know, with that, I've nicknamed Trump King Tut because that's the ultimate troll.
Well, who?
King Tut. He's King Tut. He's Big Tut. He's the Tut.
I don't know anything about King Tut.
The ultimate troll. The ultimate troll.
The ultimate. Oh, Tut.
Tut.
Oh,
he's
okay.
King Tut, dude.
Okay.
That's my new nickname for Trump is King Tut.
The ultimate troll.
The ultimate troll.
Like it.
Yeah.
King Tut.
I came up with it yesterday when I ate that edible and I was like, this is great.
What level was that on?
That was on level 3, pretty much. So, King Tut.
All right.
The ultimate troll.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
But who is the real King Tut? I wonder. Like
the Egyptian pharaoh?
Yeah. That's who I think of when I think of King Tut.
Right, but
I mean, I wonder if King Tut was a troll in his day.
Actually, I think he was like, he had disabilities.
He did?
Yeah, because of all the inbreeding back then.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Didn't he die young?
King Tutankhamun had like a limp and like he was all crazy looking.
Really?
Yes.
You're so smart.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
So, but didn't they die young? A lot of those kings because of the inbreeding.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a lot of inbreeding back then, and he had all kinds of.
I want to talk about something.
Issues
about we're talking about other nations and stuff. Christopher Columbus. So, you know, everyone's heard that they were going to change the name. I don't know if they did change the name. Have they? I don't know.
Indigenous Peoples Day?
Yeah. So, which doesn't, I mean, I don't really care, but I wanted to see what that was all about. And so, anyways, I was just seeing like Columbus Day and why they're changing it. And when you Google it, it says citing the lasting harm indigenous tribes suffered because of Columbus's contributions to the European colonization of the Americas. Well, it's a contributing factor. Also, he also says his expeditions were the first known European contact with the Caribbean and Central and South America. So that's a positive. Anything
that's been established of the United States of America is not good. Any kind of establishment of the United States, it's got to be demonized now.
Well, listen, I don't mind like reality. I mean, reality is a lot of indigenous people were killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I mean, there's lots of people were killed every single time any nation was formed.
I mean, maybe have both days.
Well, right. I just don't know that wiping Christopher Columbus's achievements out of history is going to change the fact that indigenous and Native American people
it blows my mind because, you know, people do this and it's like, I mean, this is kind of nuanced. Like, this was a whole other time. Mm-hmm. Shit was totally different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you can't have like today's rules for
the history that's already been made.
Right. Because we would never have arose to where we are now. I don't know. It is dissecting it way too much, I think, sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But now Trump can say he was actually frying fries, unlike Kamala Harris.
So
King Tut, the ultimate troll.
So what was did you like about, was he being hilarious? I saw just a clip or two. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched a clip. Well, then they started coming out talking about how he didn't really fry those fries. It was staged. They brought people in and it's like, no shit, dude.
You know what I didn't like about it?
Why would they? He's been assassinated almost twice now. Like, we're going to take some people out of here. We're going to make sure nobody's a threat around him. But it was just for trolling purposes. He wasn't really going there to try to be like, look at me, I'm frying. I mean, he was, but he was doing it for,
like you said.
he was just trying to troll. And they were like, the way the media was spinning it, I was like, oh my god.
But you know why? Because they don't have a sense of humor. They really don't. Some of those media outlets have no sense of humor.
Anything they can do to like.
But you're right. It was just to troll.
That's
really messed up.
It was the ultimate troll. It was incredible.
That is cool.
So I mean, that's one thing. The dude does have a sense of humor.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's hilarious.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah. No, it's refreshing. It's really nice to have like a politician, or it's just, man, life is already so hard to always be so uptight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's a big prank to do.
Dude.
It's ultimate. To troll.
It's ultimate.
Ultimate.
King Tut.
Yeah. It's the ultimate.
Well, and then I saw that did you watch where Kamala Harris was at her rally and somebody said Jesus is Christ or something like that?
Yeah, I watched two different points of view
said,
because
honey, you in the wrong rally.
I know,
she didn't say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
Almost. She's intense, dude. When I was gonna say that Fox interview, man, she scared me. I was like, hey, listen, maybe she can handle some stuff.
Right. Well, I think like as far
as
throwing her weight around, she did good.
She did really good.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is that it feels like such a turn off. Like either I'm turned off by her attitude because it's so pompous and so snobby and always so heated, or she's so inauthentic that I'm turned off.
Yes, that's
it's like there's never any kind of time where I'm sitting with Kamala Harris going, I really relate to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or I'm a woman, hear me roar.
She's a panda bear.
Yeah.
Man. The ultimate panda bear.
Yeah.
The panda bear.
Trump is the one who trolls, Russ.
No, I'm saying she panders to people.
I know.
And it's so inauthentic.
Yeah.
And I can't get down with it. I just cannot get down with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was
but even when she's not pandering, you know, and she's like you're
she's dry. She doesn't have a sense of humor. It's crazy.
Probably because menopause.
Well, and so that's the thing. She said, you're at the wrong rally. You might want to go to the smaller rally down the street.
Yeah, that was
hilarious. And this is the thing, is I think she was just trying to come up with something really witty on the spot.
She was.
And she can't really do that.
I don't know if it was on the spot.
Because there's an art form to that. There's an art form to the wit and like being able to think of something right off the spot. But
I think you're either born with it or you're not. You can probably learn it.
But most people who have it, they know how not to be offensive when they throw it. Just like, say Ellen. Ellen never cussed in her stand-ups.
Right.
And that's an art form. It's like, that is an art form to be able to do that.
Have you seen the new Ellen, by the way?
No, huh?
I turned it on just to see, because, Ellen was actually pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, she really was.
But it wasn't good. We both, Ryan and I sat down and tried to watch it. He was kind of moving around, but it was like 30 minutes in, and I was like, damn, she's not as witty as she once was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too mean. I think sometimes people are too damaged. I don't know. No, I don't know. It was just all, not like old Ellen. Old Ellen was super witty and off the cuff and
she didn't have
creative.
To be offensive.
Yeah.
When she was off the cuff, she would be, kind of PG-13 off the cuff.
Yeah, she was.
Kamala didn't know how to do that. So so her first initial reaction is to offend the person that's saying Jesus is Lord.
Yeah.
But she's like, you're at the wrong rally.
To be defensive.
Yeah, I was like, good Lord.
She gives me mean stepmom energy. She does, dude. She's like that stepmom that you don't want to mess with.
Right.
It's going to ruin your life and keep your dad from you. No, it's true. She seems like an evil stepmom.
She does. She does seem like
that energy.
I want to hear Doug's kids. What do they have to say about it?
Dude, have you seen any interviews with Doug? Bless his heart. He is
not a whole lot.
He is not. I mean, when you say not masculine, I mean he is so soft and way too.
Well, he's got
passive.
some stuff coming out about him.
I know. Yeah. Not only the nanny, which I think has been confirmed,
right?
But the slapping his
old lady.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't you?
Trying to Sean Connery that shit. I had to take another T.T. break, so we're back.
Oh, we have the bladders of 4-year-olds.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Anyway, what? So
we're talking about Doug Emhoff.
Oh yeah. And well, I'm just saying he's super feminine. It's really annoying.
Yeah, he's not.
not I don't know a lot about him, but I'm not really a fan.
So I was gonna tell you. Do you remember the guy last time we talked, the Vim Miller? So the guy that he supposedly attempted to assassinate President Trump at the Coachella, California.
Oh yeah.
The guy that he's a Trump fan.
Right.
And so I saw an interview with him. So basically what he said was that he lives in Montana or somewhere else. And so the laws with guns are obviously different. He had no idea how different they were because apparently in California, they're like...
You would think he would know that. Like, you're going to California. It's probably not going to be the same.
But here's my point. So anyway, so he gets, arrested and all of that. Yeah. Well, then the sheriff cracked me up. Did you see the sheriff of Coachella, California? No. Ooh, sassy, honey. He's so sassy.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was the Riverside County Sheriff, Chad Bianco. And so Chad from Coachella.
Chad from Coachella.
Anyway, so he arrested this Vim guy. Turns out the Vim guy is now turning around and suing that police department.
Oh, wow, really?
Because he's like, my VIP pass was not fraudulent. Like, they made a bunch of stuff up about him. Right?
I wonder if they did that just because he was
a Trump supporter.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Why would a Trump supporter kill Trump?
So, well, you never know these days. I mean, just like the fans. Remember the fans of John Lennon? They loved him, but they still killed him. That guy.
You know what? That one's kind of skeptical too, because John Lennon was speaking out a lot about
it was the CIA.
Real stuff. Yeah.
I know. They take out everybody. It's wild.
or maybe it was the music industry that took out John Lennon.
Maybe it was P. Diddy. Maybe he has a time machine, and we just don't know about it.
P. Diddy came back.
Yeah. Maybe all these people do.
Did he come back?
Did he come? Did he come? Did he come? Did he do? I don't know. I'm trying to remember a melody. Anyway, so I was going to say, I wonder who's using who. Is Chad, the police officer, using him, arresting him for publicity? Or did Vim Miller take the guns on purpose, knowing that he would get arrested and cause all kinds of attention towards himself? Because he's like a social media guy, too. Yeah. Like, he has a presence. Okay. Yeah. A presence is what they say.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty funny that turned out to be a big O non-violent thing.
Well,
way to go, Sheriff Chad.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for good looking out. Listen.
Good looking out, sure.
Chad.
Yeah. Well, that's like I was saying with the John Lennon thing, like I was watching Sean Ryan podcast.
Yeah.
And he had an investigative journalist called Nick Bryant on there. And it was really good. He was talking about the similarities between Epstein and Diddy.
Yeah.
And I think don't quote me, but there's a lawyer that they put on Diddy's case that was the same lawyer for Epstein.
I heard.
Yes. So it's like.
That's super weird. Isn't he a judge or is it a lawyer?
I want to say I heard lawyer, but wow. I could be wrong on that.
And why would you use the same? Maybe it's a prosecutor. I bet it's one of the prosecutors.
Well, they were trying to say that it's some kind of trial.
Yeah.
A specific trial where only P. Diddy gets in a little bit of trouble, nobody else gets exposed.
Well, right, and that's like gonna piss me off. That's the other thing about Trump. It's like I have that written down on my notes. Is if I were Trump and I was really not a part of the establishment, why would you not be all over that? He's still, and maybe it's because he's smart enough to realize he shouldn't say a bunch about it.
Yeah, because he'll.
But man, it eats me up. I'm like, why is he not going? Because if he just ran on that alone, most Americans. I mean, we need these pedo rings busted.
Yeah,
dude.
That's a big one. And
now Diddy. Yeah. If he's the only one that gets busted, I'm going to be so pissed.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to turn out like that.
Did you see that Usher also was with Kamala last night or the night before?
Which is strange.
Isn't that weird? And
he's in all this kind of, not bad, but he's in a little bit of the hot water. The water's a little warm on him.
He's grown up with this Diddy guy. He's been around him for a long time.
They speculate, allegedly, he brought Justin Bieber to him.
Sure. But I mean, who knows? But all I'm saying is, even if he didn't do anybody underage, he's been at these sex parties. I mean, who knows
Right.
what he's seen? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
that's
I mean, to me, it's like, why would he all of a sudden be for Kamala that hardcore if he wasn't afraid of exposure?
oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. I was like, I saw that she was. Did he show up to a rally or
He spoke.
he spoke?
He
Okay.
spoke up there about her being his next president. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's because all that same group of people cover up the Epstein list. They cover up the Diddy list.
There's a lot of powerful people
I
that
think
want
they're
her to be
yeah,
president.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot
that's
of powerful
weird.
people.
But it also is weird that Trump is not more,
Paranoid about it?
no, just open about, like, more insistent upon these things being exposed.
I mean, maybe that's the thing. Maybe he's trying to get elected, and then he's going to go from there.
Well, we'll
You know
see,
what I mean?
because he was supposed to build the wall, and he never did.
He built some of it.
He did.
Yeah, that one's great. Yeah, and okay. And so the lawyer that was on Sean Ryan's show, Sean Ryan went on this whole tangent about the kids.
Yeah.
And like, missing kids and the
Yeah.
pedophilia and all this stuff. And this guy kept trying to compare it to QAnon. And he was like, well, you got these guys and these QAnon guys. And Sean Ryan said, I don't see QAnon making any laws.
Right.
I see these this pedophilia arena. They're making laws, like minor attracted person and all that jazz.
And able to change
So I
your
mean, he had a point.
hormones.
And I haven't heard of QAnon in like 4 or 5 years.
But what are you talking about? He was saying
just-
that it was a conspiracy theory? And
Yeah,
it's a part of the
kinda.
QAnon?
He was trying. Yes, kind of. It's kind of saying, well, these are these QAnon people, and
That are worried
gotta think
about
he said
pedophile rings?
the left is worried about QAnon, while the right's worried about the pedophilia. And Sean Ryan was like,
yeah.
you can't really
I see
compare
what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah,
But QAnon is not this established club that can make rules
It's
like
just-
the Democrat or like.
and it's not as big of a issue as pedophilia.
No. It's wild that they don't want this shit found out.
Yeah.
I mean, that
It's
alone should just make us all crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. I'm sorry.
Kids.
That goes against the gut of almost everybody.
Yeah.
So for that to be
Which,
something
I mean,
that they're not,
ties into the migration
Sick.
situation. The
Yeah,
trafficking
yeah.
going on is unreal,
that's what
and they
it's-
won't shut it down.
Yeah. And
It's-
then,
And then this is what trips me out is Kamala's like, well, we had a border bill, but Trump shut it down.
that was 9 months ago, though.
Because they're like, there's issues with the border. They're agreeing with it.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, Congress was supposed to do this, and
Yeah.
Congress was supposed to. And I'm like, dude, man, just shut the border down.
I know. Well, because their theory is because the immigration system is so jacked,
Mhm.
they want to make a bill that across the board. So you're also going to update computers.
Yeah.
And you're also going to give them more of,
Vacation
something.
days.
Yes. Stuff like that. That's like, that is not what
Yeah,
we're doing
dude.
right now.
It's crazy.
And also, I'm telling you, I keep thinking about this and meditating on it. Like, what is life going to look like? And like how, I just don't know if the risk is worth the reward.
That
That letting
the ends
everyone
justify the means.
Yes.
But really, the means are going to end up justifying the end.
Right. True.
So
Deep.
deep thoughts by Russell Roberts.
But yeah, I just don't know because in the process of whoever is trying to integrate everybody and like make it all a level playing field, you're gonna lose a lot of people, like what's her name?
Lake and Riley.
Yes,
Yeah.
and all of them.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose
And
a lot of us.
it's collateral damage.
Right, and that's exactly how they look at it.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is, man.
Especially
It
when
is.
she's so sincere and is like, they lost their home. Like,
Yeah.
she'll act like so sincere, and it's such a put on. And you're like, if you felt that in your heart, you
wouldn't
would
allow this
close
to even.
the border.
Yeah. Or yeah, you would at
You
least close the border now.
The border.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that shit drives me crazy. But
It's sad.
I don't know. They just want to blame it on, other people, including Trump.
And
they blame
never-
everything on Trump, and it's like, dude, he's not in office. Like,
Right. And whenever she did say that, she got all like kind of
It's not working either.
Yeah. Well, I know. I don't think so now. If you watch Democrat leaning news,
Yeah.
you might feel differently. I know.
It's crazy.
That's what's really upsetting to me, is that it can be so different.
Yeah.
And that if they're going to run on this neck and neck thing, I'm not going to buy it. Like, he has to have a landslide win or we don't win.
Yeah.
If it's neck and neck,
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
we'll lose, because they'll lawyer
do
it
something,
all, and
yeah.
they'll say that so and so.
I wonder how long it's going to be,
Like
trying
weeks.
to decide who the winner is.
That's why I'm praying. Let's pray for Too Big to Rig.
Too big to rig.
Too Big to Rig. And listen, one thing I have to say, I've gotten more confident that the world is not necessarily immediately going to fall apart.
Right.
Either way. It's going to take
a
a
slow,
couple
gradual-
years. Yeah. It's a slow burn.
It's been a slow burn.
Except for terrorism. Now, if something
Yeah,
on
terrorist attack
voting,
happens.
because they keep saying that like November 5th is supposed to be a big,
Yeah.
terrorist day or whatever. But I just keep hoping for the best. But I don't know that it's going to be like an immediate, unless we go into war. That's also a thing. Push a nuclear
so
war.
many variables.
I know.
So many
they're all
ins and outs.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful. Okay, but the black vote, and like I watch a lot of podcasts with some African American people on there, and they're talking about
Right.
why they're voting for Trump. There's one in particular that's it's all women,
Yeah.
and they're hilarious and amazing, but they're as mad as you and I are. Like they're like,
Well,
this
yeah.
is not working and all this stuff.
Because
So, I
everybody
mean,
sees right through it.
right. And so I was thinking about what is it? Because I have a good friend that I really care about that thinks that Trump is a racist.
Oh, so she's diehard
It's
about,
a bull. It's a man. But he really
thinks
does.
it.
And he's a black
Dude.
guy, and he really
guys
thinks.
that fall in for that narrative trip me out.
But I went to research it because there's reasons. Well, like there's the whole building thing back in when Trump was 27
You're
or
talking
29.
about the kids that got.
No.
Oh.
This is there was a issue where Trump and his dad were taken to court over this apartment building.
Yeah.
They were saying they were being discriminated against. That there was, some kind of like they would up the rent for black people or try to persuade them not to rent there. Some kind of nuance like that. And so I went to research it, and it was really Fred Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trump was not a grown-ass man barely. He was like 27 years old. So he was brought into the lawsuits, but most of it was
His
over
brother?
his dad. No,
Oh.
his dad.
His dad.
Yeah. Or is Fred his brother?
I want to say
What's
Fred
his
was his
dad?
brother, but I can't remember.
Anyway, it was his dad's deal.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about how like the new generation comes along, even with some of that old school racism and stuff like that. And we teach them, how not to be that way. And like, I'm sure Donald Trump was more of a enlightened businessman.
Yeah, he was in a different time and era.
Yeah,
It wasn't
than
his
his-
generation than his
Right,
dad. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
right. So I'm
Absolutely.
just wondering if that's not unfair of people to put some of that stuff on him,
Yeah.
since it wasn't him.
Him
That the lawsuit was
necessarily.
actually
His
towards
dad.
his dad.
Yeah, and like it was a different time, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
So-
I don't know, guys. So I was trying to find out like why they think that. Besides like just the fact
Why
that
he's
he's a
racist.
white business
They
guy.
just said it. They've
Yeah,
said it for
they've
8
said it so
years,
much.
and that's how propaganda works. You just beat it in their heads.
Because he doesn't have like a tape where he's saying I mean, he doesn't have any like Paula Deen tape. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I just didn't know if I had
It's just the narrative
missed
they
it. You know?
push.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
taking clips and
Making it-
metamorphing it.
Yeah.
Took out a
Which is
Hezbollah
supposed to
leader,
be
which I haven't. Like I said, I need to start diving more into foreign affairs.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, you
they
get on
took.
top of that, Russ.
I'm on it. They took out the leader of Hezbollah.
That's great, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
supposed to be.
You don't see them reporting on the wars a whole lot and what's going
No.
on. Nothing about Ukraine.
No.
Not really anything about Gaza.
No.
You know.
No, except for that we support it. That's about it.
Yeah.
That both sides support it, like you said.
Yeah. If it's foreign war,
Yeah.
they're both going to be on board. So
Yeah, it's also weirds me out because now that I realize that history is written from the perspective of the
victors.
other country. Yeah, from the victors, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the victors. That sometimes I'm not as like into this stuff. Like, Well, maybe that's great to us, but is that great to the people that he led? I mean, is that how they're seeing things, or are they seeing things as, Israel wiping them out completely, like a genocide?
The perspective.
The perspective is different.
Of the loser and the winner.
Right.
That's all, I don't know, man. I think it's it's just a funnel of money, dude. It's just a funnel our
money
tax
and
dollars.
Kids, right?
Yeah.
So crazy.
It's I don't know. I mean, that's so. I mean, I don't really know the deets on that, but I know they took out a Hezbollah leader.
Yeah, the Hezbollah leader.
Hezbollah leader.
And his son makes the rounds on interviews. Go ahead.
It's just crazy because I mean, you got all these terrorist factions, and Israel's fighting them all.
And they're gonna pop up. Another one's gonna pop up.
Dude,
I mean, unfortunately.
What was that thing that somebody? It was like was it in the Bible or something where they said that the end of the world is going to happen in the Middle East? Or there's people who say that.
No. The Bible. I mean, the Book of Revelation takes place in that part of the land. I mean, it is all about Israel. It's really wild, actually, the way that it lines up. I mean, the more you study it and the more that you know about it, the more you're like, well, the ties are there.
Yeah.
And that's what they're predicting. And even though I try to tell myself, well, maybe Israel is just, represents God's children. I mean, there's all kinds of theories on what Israel in the Book of Revelation or any of the books really means besides just the land and its people.
So it's not like straight up clear.
Well, the Bible's pretty clear, but I mean, people have different theories on it. Yeah. So, but I mean, it definitely all ends up back there. And there's a lot of theories about, certain lands in the Bible being Earth, being America, and like that represents America. I mean, that's a whole nother amazing topic.
So, okay.
But I mean,
it's just
it's lining up. Let's just say that.
The way I see it with all of this situation is that they just want to profit off of foreign wars.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
But the way
Bible or no Bible, they want to profit off of the foreign wars.
Also, just real quick, I was going to ask you about the Al Smith dinner. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The Catholic
dinner. I saw
dinner.
Parts of it, yeah.
Yeah. And
that's what it was. That was a big Al Smith dinner.
Yeah. So I don't know whoever Alfred Smith, I should have looked it up. But it's a huge charity, Catholic charity organization. Right. So still.
And they do every year.
They do it every year.
Or every election year.
I think it's every year.
Oh, wow.
Maybe every election. I could be wrong. Anyway, no, it would make sense that it's every 4 years since it's usually the people that are running. So, but what tripped me out about it is if you watch it, they're allowed to make fun of each other, right? And there's a whole bunch of oligarchs in one room, and they're all in on the joke.
Yeah.
And it made me really, that whole thing where I'm like, this is a charade.
Yeah.
And we're a bunch of freaking idiots. They are literally playing us like a fiddle.
Right.
Like they have us on either side, like freaking
arguing
out.
with each other.
Thinking
over
this
abortion.
Election is going to, over abortion, over trans rights. Yes. Meanwhile, on the South Side,
they're collecting the dough.
They're all in it.
Yeah, that's the establishment, dude.
Right.
It's crazy.
So the fact that they can play that on TV and we're all supposed to get it, like even now get mad that Kamala wasn't there and that Trump was.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we're totally missing the point. These people are in on the joke.
Yeah, they are.
It's insane.
It is wild, man. I was thinking that too. I was like, look at all these rich, wealthy people all getting together.
The Cardinal. Yeah. And they're all buddy at fucking, what's his name? Schumer. What's his name? Right.
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. With them rubbing elbows. Him and Trump. I was like, oh, well, we're fine. Like if they're fine, then we're fine.
I mean, I do think that Trump is not in their club, But he gets
I think he knows how important it is to try and be in the club, like to try and be kosher with the club. I think he's
trying to play the game a little bit.
He has to.
There's a little bit of a game he's got to play.
Yeah, he's got to be non-threatening as possible, even though they're so threatened by him.
No kidding, dude.
Which is why another reason I don't think that he's going to be allowed to win. But anyway, that's what I was going to tell you. Like what a revelation that was. Is watching that dinner and thinking.
Dude, these people are just all screwing the tax.
And there's a lot of people going fucking nutty over this whole situation.
Yeah, I know it.
And they're eating dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
There are people that are losing their minds over this separation, division, what's been manufactured.
That think
and
Trump's
they're just
going to be the
hobnobbing
worst.
with the best of them.
Yeah, so we're getting really close to the election. So let's, continue
20 days?
Yeah.
21
I
days?
think it's less than that.
Jeez, man.
And then, of course, like you say, it's going to be weeks of, like, hashing it out.
I guarantee it.
So we got to...
Which I don't know for sure, but I don't think it used to be like that. You used to find out that day, right?
Within, like, 24 hours or a couple days, they would announce it, like, for sure. But it definitely wasn't weeks on end and all this drama about it.
It wasn't. Elections were not dramatic like they are today.
Well, were they? Maybe not as intense.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not as like life on the line.
I wasn't around back then, so
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were. They may have been really intense for some people.
Yeah, but I just don't think that it drug out to find out who the victor was.
No, I think there was one time that I've heard in conversation, like in the 70s or something, that it took a while and that somebody challenged it, like Trump did. That's not. Oh, and Clinton herself challenged it. Hillary Clinton.
Oh yeah, she denied it in 2016. But the first one I remember hearing about was Bush Jr. And I think it was Al Gore he was running against.
Oh, okay.
And it was in Florida. There was like a possible discrepancy.
But just in that state.
Yeah.
Not like all over the country.
All of these places.
And also I think that, I could be mistaken, but I think that when people voted, they usually were a majority. There was a populist vote on most. It wasn't like half and half as much. I'm pretty sure it would be like 70% of Americans or.
Yeah, I don't want to say because I don't know for sure. I need to read into that.
Yeah.
But there's different kinds of votes.
Yeah. Well, and did you know that every state does it differently? Yeah. Each state is allowed to do it differently. So,
Yeah.
But that's good too, because that's America, state by state. I mean.
But they're saying he's gone up in the polls, which I don't believe the polls ever. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but we're just gonna have to hang on to our hard hats and keep a positive vibe.
Hang on your butts.
I know what it was. It was the perspective of a guy who said, you may have seen it. It was crazy that if Trump wins, what was going to happen? Was it on PBD?
Oh.
And they said that everyone was going to lose their mind, and there was going to be sickness and suicide and divorces. Like he had those
people were going to trip out if Trump wins?
Yes. He was acting like it would be way more catastrophic on the population than if Kamala won.
Man, I don't know.
Interesting.
It's possible, dude. It's possible that because they are so intense.
Because they're so intense. Yeah, I guess so. Because I think that the Trump voters, even though we're big fans of him, we're not going to jump off a building if he doesn't. No. Just like we don't burn the houses down.
Right, and then that's like I said, the non-establishment crew has showed so much more restraint.
Really, I know.
Than the people who are voting for Kamala.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Because at some point you kind of want to shake all of us and go, no, time to let loose. You show them.
You're tripping.
No, bro. I'm saying we need to be a little more pissed off.
Oh yeah.
The non-establishment people.
We'll see, man. Yeah. I mean, so far they seem like the more put together ones for sure.
Yeah.
So
the non-establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, and like I said, I'm trying not to do Democrat and Republican.
No, I like that because that's not what it is.
It's not what it is.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's the bureaucracy in the machine versus the people that are trying to go up against it. Mm-hmm. And there's a list of people that are speaking up and doing their thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it would be so cool if we would all get on the same page and see the same disaster. Then we really could
be a little easier.
Well, no, but we could change. We could change what the government's doing, and we can actually do some different way. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
For the people, man.
Well, and I think it's steadily becoming more and more where people are like, we see your game. This is ridiculous. But there still are people that aren't, and it's wild.
It's wild. And if it takes another 4 years, we're screwed.
I don't want to know.
I know.
But, I mean, that's pretty much all I got for the day.
Okay. Well, me too. Had fun hanging out.
All right.
Simtards.
Simtards.
Simtards, not libtards. King Tut.
Ow. All right.
All right.
Deuces.
Deuces.